Welcome to today's deep dive, where we're going to uncover the definitive, hard science behind cellular rejuvenation. If you're passionate about understanding exactly how your body functions and the real biological mechanisms behind living a healthier, more vibrant life, well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're talking about a literal reset button that exists right now inside your cells. And I mean literal. This isn't just a metaphor, it's a very real, incredibly powerful cellular purification system. And the absolute best part, you have the power to activate and amplify it, starting today. Okay, let's dive into this.
Think back to your 20s for a second. You could eat a huge meal and your body effortlessly converted that food into just boundless energy, right? Your metabolism was this highly efficient machine. But then, as we cross into our 30s and 40s, something kind of shifts. The food we eat just doesn't translate into energy the same way anymore. It leaves us feeling heavy, sluggish, and just fatigued. But here is the critical shift in perspective you need today. This is not inevitable aging. Your cells aren't dying. They're just blocked. They are literally choked by a massive backlog of damaged proteins, cellular garbage, and dysfunctional components that are just piling up inside you.
Now, I want to be super clear right up front. The solution we're exploring today, it is not some passing wellness fad or TikTok trend. This is grounded in rigorous, verified science. In fact, in 2016, Dr. Yoshinori Osumi was actually awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for his groundbreaking discoveries of the mechanisms behind this very system. So we're talking about a proven, biologically hardwired function of the human body that can reverse that sluggishness and finally clear out all that microscopic trash.
Section 1. The Autophagy Cleanup Crew.
So how exactly do we clear out this microscopic debris? Enter autophagy. I want you to think of your body as a massive, complex kingdom where, naturally, waste accumulates over time. Autophagy is your highly specialized internal demolition and cleanup crew. When this system is activated, it sweeps through your cells. It removes components that just aren't working anymore. It breaks down damaged proteins. It even hunts down and eliminates these inflammatory zombie cells that actually accelerate the aging process. But here's the coolest part. It doesn't just destroy things, it recycles them. It acts like this highly efficient demolition team that tears down a broken, crumbling building, only to use those exact same raw materials to construct a newer, stronger, and far more resilient foundation. And this brilliantly illustrates why this cleanup process is absolutely crucial for how you actually feel every single day. Your mitochondria, they're your cellular power plants. They generate ATP, which is basically the energy currency for your thoughts, your movements, and your fat burning. But over time, they get suffocated by that cellular garbage we talked about. By activating autophagy, you clear away that toxic environment around them. The old, inefficient mitochondria get completely replaced with fresh, high-performing ones. And suddenly, it's like a switch flips. Your body remembers how to burn fat efficiently, that stubborn brain fog finally lifts, and you can actually restore that energetic feeling you had back in your 20s.
Section 2. Decoding your hunger signals.
But here is the catch that almost everyone misses. Autophagy doesn't just happen on its own. It requires a very specific biological trigger. We really need a paradigm shift here because conventional wisdom constantly tells us that hunger is a bad thing. But in reality, that trigger we need is driven by a hormone called ghrelin. You probably know it as the hunger hormone. When your body senses that food isn't immediately arriving, ghrelin spikes. Now, this isn't just a signal to make your stomach rumble. No, it is the ultimate distress signal that tells your cells, hey, resources are scarce from the outside. We need to mobilize our internal resources right now. This ghrelin spike is the exact dispatcher that sends the autophagy cleanup crew into action.
To actually master this, we have to code our hunger because there are three very distinct types. First, there's appetite, and this is purely psychological. It's craving a snack just because you're bored, you're stressed, or hey, the clock says it's 12 p.m. Second, there's true starvation. Now this is dangerous. It's accompanied by prolonged dizziness, exhaustion, and severe physical weakness. But then, right in the middle, there's the hero's call to action, the autophagy signal. This is just a mild physical wave in your stomach that usually lasts only 15 to 20 minutes. It doesn't cause extreme weakness. This wave is the exact moment your fat cells are mobilizing and your cleanup system is powering up. If you can just wait out that 15-minute wave without eating, the hunger vanishes and the deep cellular cleansing begins.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is Section 3, the Autophagy Multiplier Protocol.
Look, we don't have to just sit around and wait for autophagy to happen. We can actually biohack this system. Here is the exact, step-by-step, weaponized protocol to literally multiply these effects. Step 1 actually happens before you even stop eating. By keeping your carbs under 50 grams the day before, you deplete your glycogen and keep your insulin low.
This effectively cuts the time it takes to reach deep autophagy from 18 hours down to just 12 to 14 hours. Huge time saver. Step 2 happens right when that 15-minute hunger wave hits. Instead of eating, go do 10 to 15 minutes of light exercise, like a brisk walk. Because your muscles desperately need energy and there's no glucose available, this forces your body to rely entirely on stored fat. And finally, step 3, heat exposure. Spending 20 to 30 minutes in a hot bath or a sauna between 38 and 40 degrees Celsius triggers what are called heat shock proteins. These proteins actively guide and heavily accelerate the whole cellular cleanup process.
Let's look at how these stressors stack, because I promise you the numbers here are absolutely staggering. If you just fast normally, you might boost autophagy by roughly 16%. Not bad. If you add some light exercise during that fasting window, it jumps up to about 41%. But when you stack them all together, the low-carb prep, the fasting, the strategic movement during those hunger pangs, and the heat exposure, they don't just add up, they multiply. You can see an explosive 200 to 300% increase in autophagy activation. You are basically sending a unified, overwhelming signal to every single cell in your body to repair and recycle immediately.
But I hear you. What if that neurological hunger in your brain is just too loud and you feel like you're going to break? Well, you can use some very specific hacks to quiet the brain without actually switching off the metabolic cleanup in your body. Salt water or pure electrolytes can instantly calm the brain's panic without breaking the fast at all. Black coffee, green tea, and polyphenols like resveratrol, they actually amplify the autophagy signals. And remarkably, this is a real game changer. Taking a small shot, about 30 to 50 milliliters of pure extra virgin olive oil, can completely satisfy your stomach while actually enhancing mitochondrial function and keeping the autophagy process completely intact.
Section 4. How to break a fast.
Okay, so we've reached the critical pivot point where most people accidentally sabotage all their hard work. Listen closely. How you break the fast is just as important as the fast itself. Consider this table your ultimate survival guide. Over on the left, we have the autophagy killers. Massive carb loads like pasta or sugar cause a violent insulin spike, which literally instantly slams the brakes on autophagy. Similarly, sipping on BCAAs, bone broth, or collagen during your fast turns on a nutrient-sensing pathway called mTOR. This basically tells your body, hey, plenty of materials are here, stop recycling, and entirely shuts down the cleanup. Now, on the right are the extenders. If you break your fast with zero-carb, high-fat foods rich in a compound called spermidine, things like aged cheese, buttered eggs, heavy cream, and avocados, you keep that insulin low. You enter this incredible state of pseudo-fasting, meaning you are physically eating food, but your cells are still actively cleaning.
So, the crucial point is exactly how we handle protein. Obviously, we need protein to maintain our muscle mass, right? But as we just learned, a constant drip of amino acids keeps mTOR constantly elevated, which totally suppresses autophagy all day long. The solution here is something called the protein leverage hypothesis. You need to pulse your protein. Instead of just grazing on 20 grams every few hours throughout the day, consolidate it. Consume 80 to 100 grams in a single hearty meal, or even cycle it every other day. This allows mTOR to spike so you can build muscle, but then it rapidly falls back down, giving your body those nice, long, uninterrupted windows to return to deep cellular cleanup.
Section 5. The metabolic timeline.
Now that we have all the puzzle pieces on the table, let's put the whole picture together and see exactly what happens inside your body, hour by hour. The magic actually starts 18 hours before your timer even begins. You eat a low-carb, high-fat meal to drop your insulin and start depleting that glycogen. At hour 0, the fast officially begins, and you're sticking strictly to water and electrolytes. Now fast forward to the 8 to 12 hour mark. This right here is where you face the dragon. Ghrelin spikes, and that wave of hunger hits hard. This is where most people quit, but you know better now. You go take a 15-minute brisk walk. You force your muscles to demand energy, pulling it directly from your fat stores, and you just push right through that temporary wave.
By the time you hit hours 14 to 16, you have arrived at the ultimate prize. Your cells are now in deep autophagy. They are actively recycling damaged proteins and replacing those bad mitochondria. And because your body is efficiently producing ATP straight from fat, you're going to experience this incredibly sharp mental focus and just stable, unwavering energy. Then at hours 16 to 18, you strategically break the fast with those high-fat, spermidine-rich foods we talked about. Because you completely avoided a carb spike, you unlock hours 18 to 20 and beyond. Your cellular rejuvenation actually continues, extending the anti-aging and metabolic benefits long after you've actually started eating again. So we've completely uncovered the roadmap. We know for a fact that midlife metabolic decline is not a life sentence. It's just a backlog of cellular waste. And you now hold the exact step-by-step blueprint to clear it all out. By mastering your hunger signals, applying the multiplier protocol, and strategically breaking your fast, you can literally rebuild your cellular engine from the inside out. So my final question to you is this. Your cells have a built-in reset button, just waiting to restore your youthful energy, your sharp focus, and your vital health. So what will you do today to finally press it? I challenge you, try this protocol for just 1 week. Face that hunger wave head on and experience this metabolic reset for yourself.